Think about the last time you were in a social setting, a work meeting, a family gathering, or even just interacting with someone you wanted to impress. Did you present your whole, unfiltered self or a carefully curated version? Did you adopt a certain role? We all do it. The quiet professional, the witty friend, the dutiful son or daughter. This impulse to adapt and conform is a fundamental part of our social lives, and today, we're diving deep into the psychology behind it. We're going to explore a fascinating idea from the renowned psychologist Carl Jung, a concept he called the persona. The persona is, quite simply, the mask we wear. It's the social role we adopt to navigate the world and fit into societal expectations. It's the face we present to others, a carefully constructed image that serves as a mediator between our inner world and the external world. But what happens when we start to believe the mask is us? What happens when our social performance becomes our entire identity? That is the central question we'll be exploring today. We'll uncover the necessary function of the persona, its potential pitfalls, and most importantly, how we can relate to it consciously to live a more authentic, integrated life. To understand the persona, we first have to recognize that it's not inherently a bad thing. In fact, it's a necessary adaptation. The persona is our psychological skin, an essential buffer that helps us function in a complex social world. Without it, we would be a raw nerve, unable to distinguish our inner self from the expectations of others. It helps us conform to societal norms, allowing us to function effectively as a citizen, an employee, or a student. It's what gives us a sense of belonging and helps us avoid social friction. Think about it this way. The person you are around your boss is likely different from the person you are with your closest friends, and that's different from the person you are with your family. Each of these situations brings out a different facet of your persona. It's what allows you to be professional at work, playful with friends, and nurturing with your family. The persona is not about being fake, it's about having a functional, flexible social identity. It protects our more vulnerable inner world and provides a recognizable set of cues for others to interact with us. Jung himself emphasized that it is a fundamental part of our human psyche, an archetype of adaptation that we all carry. The problem doesn't lie in having a persona, but in the danger of becoming too attached to it. When we over-identify with our social mask, we begin to confuse the role we play with who we truly are. This is a subtle but devastating shift. We start to live for the image, neglecting our true feelings, desires, and needs. This over-identification is the beginning of a profound inner conflict, a growing disconnect between the external image we project and our internal reality. This leads to chronic anxiety, a sense of emptiness, and the feeling that something is fundamentally wrong, even when our life looks perfect on the outside. When we wear the mask for too long, the parts of ourselves that don't fit, the parts that are weak, vulnerable, or unconventional, get suppressed. They get pushed down into the unconscious, often feeding our shadow. For example, a person who always projects an image of being strong and invincible might completely repress their feelings of fear and inadequacy. This repression doesn't make those feelings go away. It just makes them invisible to us, allowing them to fester and control our reactions from behind the scenes. This is particularly damaging to intimate relationships, which require the vulnerability and authenticity that a rigid persona actively hides. We become a persona in our own lives, a stranger to ourselves. Jung's entire framework was built around a process he called individuation, the lifelong journey of becoming a whole and integrated self. For Jung, this process was not about getting rid of the persona, but about relating to it consciously. Individuation requires us to differentiate from the persona, to recognize it as a role we play rather than our true identity. The persona is just one part of the rich and complex tapestry of the psyche, and to achieve wholeness, we must acknowledge and relate to all of our parts. Jung believed that while the persona is a necessary compromise, it should never fully eclipse our deeper, more authentic self. The goal is to develop a flexible persona, a mask we can choose to wear when necessary, but one we can also consciously take off. The rigid, over-identified persona is a prison. The flexible, conscious persona is a tool. The process of individuation is about reclaiming the choice, about recognizing the difference between the role you play and the person who plays the role. So, how do we begin this work? How do we differentiate ourselves from our persona and move towards authenticity? It starts with simple, mindful self-observation. First, pay attention to how you act and speak in different social situations. What roles do you tend to adopt? Do you feel different around your parents versus your partner? Second, identify your scripts. What are the habitual phrases, mannerisms, or opinions you lean on to navigate certain conversations? Third, explore your discomfort. Notice the moments when you feel inauthentic or like you're acting. These moments are crucial signposts that point to a rigid or over-identified persona. The goal here is not to eliminate your social roles. It's to make them more flexible. By becoming aware of the difference between the face you show the world and the self within, you create space for your true personality to emerge. This process is about self-acceptance. It's about being compassionate to all the different parts of you, including the one that just wants to fit in and be accepted. You are not your mask. You are the one who chooses to wear it, and the one who can, with courage and awareness, choose to take it off. So let's recap the journey we've taken today. The persona is a necessary part of our psyche, a social mask that helps us navigate the world. But when we lose ourselves in this mask, we create a deep chasm between who we are and who we pretend to be. Jung's work gives us the profound insight that the path to wholeness, or individuation, requires us to consciously engage with this mask, to recognize it as a tool rather than an identity. The ultimate question for us to ponder is not just, who are you when no one's watching, but are you willing to find out? The journey of self-discovery is a challenging one, but it is also the most rewarding. It is the path to true freedom, the freedom to be yourself, unapologetically and authentically. Thank you for watching.